Live from our parents' basement. I'll never take out the trash. Okay, Mom, I'll get to it. Hey, this is the Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials, no bullshit. We're reporting on the Walmart generals, and the front office, the content creators, they really make our job bloody easy. I mean, let's face it, they make our job bloody easy. And so we're the Broncos are up. The Walmart Generals, they're up 21-3, right? 21-3. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
And I'm thinking, I said to Bowlen, man, I think the Broncos got this in the bag, but you said what?
Oh, what did I say last week in our video? No. You do not trust this organization week to week to week. I just want to say this because I just want to toot my own horn. I think there should be something to be said how easy these, like you said, these content creators make our job. I have these other Bronco outlets, mainly Broncos Avenue and a few other Bronco content creators, basically putting out film after I put out film. That's a cause because I'm putting out the real film, and I cannot wait to go back and watch this film breakdown because what did I say last week in our podcast about this offense? We were both impressed by what we saw. And then what did I say coming into this week? What the fuck did I say coming into this week, Chop the Liver?
Don't get into Schirmer Ball.
Yeah, don't get into Schirmer Ball, and I said they would, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get to that.
All right. So
let's step back. Let's take this from the beginning because there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack.
Okay, Justin Simmons.
Well, he had all these tackles, although that was all of them were after ginormous gains. But he did have tackles.
Oh, after ginormous gains when they were attacking his side of the field. All right. Yep.
Oh, they were attacking every side of the field. So let's go back to how they got to 21-3. Let's first unpack that. Right. It's just like we said. They ran the type of plays we said. Well, what we saw last week and what they said they had to do in order to set up those big bombs. Well, the first touchdown to Mims, the DB. It was definitely miscommunication. Nobody knew who had Mims, but by the time they even figured it out, he was like, no, that was way too late, And Wilson, he's going to take that all day long. So, but all their big plays, their big bomb plays, came off of building up to them, doing the plays that build up. And so there's a stat. It was really interesting. It was later on in the game. I just want to bring this up. They showed the Commanders. And they show, look, hell, he had, 6 passes plus 20 yards or something like that. But what they didn't talk about is that the other stat on top of it, all the short passes, they were almost 15 for 16, something like that, on the short passes that lead up to the longer passes. And that's exactly what built their success. Okay, so do you want to talk about anything about that point they got to 21-3?
Yeah, I just want to say this. You and I were right about the first half all along. We said that is the success and that is the way the Broncos need to play offense. And, at the end of the day, when I was watching the game from where I am located at the Oasis here at Nerve Center, I even said to my coworkers and everybody's like, this isn't going to last because I know that they've listened to the content creators because of all the shit talking they've been saying all fucking week because they listen to these stupid Bronco fans that think that they just won the Super Bowl and they haven't done jack shit for 8 years. And I said that this wouldn't last. and we can get into that later, but I just want to unpack even more about this Broncos offense in the first half. I even brought it up in my film breakdown. I just don't understand how hard it is for people to understand what we are I just don't understand it. Like, it's just, when you watch the film, you see things that the highlight reel crowd doesn't want you to see. And that's what I provide to you folks. That's the truthful aspect that I provide to you folks. And you saw them short passes, running the ball, all that. And I think that Johnson receiver, I've been very impressed by him. I think he's better than Jerry Jeudy. And to the Bronco fans that are going to say, oh, no, we didn't have Jerry Jeudy last week. You had him this week, and look what happened. So tired of the excuses. There's no more excuses, people. There's no more excuses. Bronco fans deserve every fucking inch of what they're getting right now. They deserve it because you guys talked your shit and ran your mouth, and then you have these stupid Bronco content creators, and then these Bronco players that have done nothing for years listen to these people and say, and you have Jerry Jeudy coming out. I have Bubble Man sending me pictures of Jerry Jeudy. I don't know a single player from the Commanders team. Now you do, Jeudy. You're not Jerry Rice, Jerry Jeudy. You're not Rod Smith. You're not Demarius Thomas. You're not Emmanuel Sanders. You're not Eddie Royal. You're not Jabbar Gaffney. So, Jerry Jeudy, shut up.
Well, okay. So I want to keep progressing in this thing. I want to keep progressing. This is what I saw. I was watching Commander film, okay, before this game, and I saw Commander's front aggressive, flying around. Okay, flying around, and in that first 21 points, I saw a team today that was not the team at that point. At that point was not what I saw on film. They came in, they were just kind of happy to be there. Oh, we flew in, and yeah, we're kind of going through the motions. That's not the team I saw. Now, what triggered, I use the word trigger, what triggered Washington? What triggered Washington? There's a couple of things. There's like three main elements. You had Burrito grabbing Hal's head, their quarterback.
Good God.
Okay, well, we'll get into that later.
Oh, man.
We'll get to that later. Then you had them jawing, because they listen to this is why you have Pat Bowlen, who doesn't allow content creators telling these players there's something they're not. That's why you don't do that. But the front office, they haven't learned their lesson. They're going to keep, Walmart thinks that, this is like Walmart. We're going to put out all this disinformation about how great these players are. And these players, what happens is why you don't do that, but Walmart doesn't understand that yet. You don't do that because they start believing this bullshit, right? You have to actually prove out on the field what you do. You prove it out. Playing a couple of quarters of good football isn't proving anything, okay? And you got to prove it over time again and again and again and again. Pat Bowlen knew that, okay? He would never allow what's going on now to occur. If I was to teach other owners what not to do, I would look at the Denver Broncos as a glaring example. So this brings us back to where we were. Kareem Jackson and Lazy hit on and really fired up that Washington team. Okay, and the jawing was going on because they don't know how to keep their mouths shut. They're running their mouth before the game even begins. So, let's not just blame the players completely, because who provides that? The front office provides that through the content creators. This was set up by John Elway because him and Ellis don't know what they're doing, first of all. So they had to set up the content creators, okay, to blah 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 blah, to talk a bunch of nonsense instead of being the Pat Bowlen. We always say, roll up the sleeves, let's get the job done. Lawrence in his pregame, he said, or maybe it was postgame, but he was talking about it was the pregame because they were going to see the Chiefs. He says, we're going to know where we are in our development and evolution Meaning, to me, that tells me that the owner understands it, the GM understands it, the coach understands it, right down to the quarterback understands that they are a work in progress. They're building, developing things we talk about, and they'll probably be down the road a much better team because of it. We saw that with Detroit. You said with Detroit, they're a lot different than they have been for many years because, again, building it centrically from the inside out and trying to find their identity and sticking to that identity. So the Broncos' identity is running their mouth before and during the game and ending up losing the game. That's who they are. And then what are we going to get at the end of all this? Is everybody's going to be pointing fingers? Who are we going to blame now? You want to blame Vance Joseph? Well, we already said before the season started he'd be the first one to go because we knew this defense was a paper tiger. Egereau did not take the job because he knows this is a paper tiger defense. He knows that they don't have the player personnel. There's bits and pieces. Gregory, I don't understand why Gregory's getting paid what he's getting paid. Cooper should be getting his money. Cooper is definitely Jonathan Cooper should be getting the money that Gregory's getting paid. Another guy runs his mouth all the time, And this is something Bubble Man brought up. You mentioned Judy. Cortland Sutton came through a little bit, although let's just be honest. At the end, he got away with a catch that wasn't a catch on the sideline. And the Washington Commanders got away with a pass interference. So the whole thing is nullified anyway. And like you said, you shouldn't be waiting for a lucky Hail Mary bounce off of 10 players and, into Johnson's hands. There's a lot more going on here. So what happened is the Broncos became the generals do what the Walmart generals do. That's run their mouth, think they're better than they are, and then they end up getting their ass handed to them. And they did for the rest of the game after that. After that is what I saw on film against the Arizona Cardinals with that defense just flying around everywhere. It is what it is. I told you about Hal, and I think he was a little gun shy because he threw a pick six, but he was pretty decisive, unlike the guy in Oakland there. Garoppolo. He's a rookie too, and he just beat your $250 million quarterback, by the way. Because what are they doing? They're drafting and developing. They're an inside-out team too. Are they not? They're an inside-out team.
Well, I want to talk about this second half because I know you were talking about it. What did I say about this defensive front? I mean, what did I say about this defensive front? I understand that in the first half they didn't get their shit together, but I said give it time.
They weren't even trying. It was.
I know they weren't trying to chop the liver. I understand that, but I kept telling folks, this defensive line's coming. This defensive line is too deep for the way that they. I mean, my God, did DeJuan Payne and Jonathan Allen just tear up our interior? I mean, my God. And I told you guys that was going to happen. That's number one. Number two. You, Bubble Man, and myself have said this, that this defense is totally overrated. I mean, I have linebackers that I coach in high school that are better than Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton. I have linebackers in high school that I coach that are better than Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's number two. Number three. You guys, Russell Wilson. I want to talk about Russell Wilson for a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about Russell Wilson. Go ahead.
Russell Wilson, this is the Seahawks. It's official. The Seahawks have officially fleeced the Denver Broncos in the worst trade in NFL history.
Of course. Well,
it's
John.
Official.
Wait a minute. Let's talk.
John Elway. They fleeced Elway. They fleeced Elway. They fleeced Elway. Okay.
It wasn't.
The reason I'm so ticked off is because I'm sick and tired of hearing the same old wash, rinse, repeat bullshit year after year after year after year. Jerry Jeudy sucks. Cortland Sutton sucks. You have backups for the receivers that are playing better than our starting overpaid receivers. This offensive line sucks. Garrett Bowles fucking sucks. Mike McGlinchey, yet again, in pass protection, I pointed it out, in the fucking all-22 film, he sucks in this system. He sucks as a pass protector. He sucks.
Hold on a second. Once the Commander front seven actually decided
Yes.
they were going to play, Bowles got thrown around. Bowles got thrown around like a rag doll. McGlinchey was nowhere to be. He was, AOL. He was, MIA. Excuse me. He was nowhere to be found. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I wanted to say just something quick about the once the game was tied. What did the offense do? They got the call from the front office, didn't they?
They went Shermer ball.
They went all on Shermer ball, and
I knew. You and I both knew sitting there, Chuck Liver. You and I both knew sitting there that was not the Sean Payton offense. I knew it from the very fucking first play in the second. I was like, that's not Sean Payton. That's not the Sean Payton ball. That's not.
When it went 21-21, they got the call from the front. We've seen this over the years. They went into panic mode. Yes, that is not Sean Payton. They wanted to just load up and throw it, and I'm going to keep wanting to say Redskin. The Washington football team wasn't going to have anything to do with that. And Russell Wilson should have threw 2 picks. One that there were other picks that there should have been other picks. I mean, he was throwing near picks everywhere. But on that particular drive, the call came in, load up. And I want to go back to how they got the first 20. Again, just to refresh everybody, how did they get that first 21 points? They set up the big play. Yeah. That's what we talk about. But if you want to hear content creators, that was the phone call that came in. The content creators, front office.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the content creator front office saying you will go into Shermer ball, and that is in no way what Sean Payton is about. He is not a guy that's going to get into panic mode at 21-21. He's a guy that's in New Orleans. And I want to say, too, this isn't the 2013 New Orleans, when Sean Payton took over. So I told you that from the very beginning, and this is manifesting itself. He was told to play in the sandbox, although he did bring his own players, and they seem to be better than, except for Javonte Williams, who I think is just a fantastic running back. Cooper, okay, I'll take Cooper. Other than outside of that, man, you what's wrong with the defense? Are you kidding me? They don't have anybody on defense.
Chuck Liver, you had these stupid Bronco content creators saying that this was going to be a top 5 defense.
When was it ever a top 5 defense? The only reason it was good is because nobody took the Broncos offense seriously. But I said, and Bubble Man said it. He's really pounding the table. Bubble Man, he said, if you watch, when teams need to score, they score. And that's
Yes. Good job. Yes, Bubble Man. Yes. Now I just want to say this. Do you guys think we're clowns now? I mean, do you guys still think we're clowns? We're not clowns. I mean, we've been right this entire time. We knew Sean Payton was going to make a difference. He came here for the money. Let's just admit it. He came here for the money. And I don't want to hear people say, well, we only lost by 2 points. The refs and the NFL try to give you this game again, and you still fucking lost.
No. The Washington Commanders tried to give them this game.
Again, last minute, Chop Liver, the NFL and the refs tried to give them this game. Sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't care.
In the last minute. Well, so did the Washington Commanders. They came here like, yeah, whatever. It's an interconference game. Who cares?
And have you noticed that's what the Raiders did last week too? Oh, it's the Broncos. Oh.
No, I think the Raiders were playing a lot more intense. But here's the difference. They didn't panic when they were behind. It was literally, oh yeah, we're behind. Yeah, okay, whatever. What happened this week is
you have Redskin fans.
Hold on. what happened this week is that mentality we don't care about Pat Bowlen anymore. That
Nope.
front office content creating mentality came through. They triggered the Commanders. They triggered them, pissed them off, and it was on. It was on.
Chopped liver. When I have Bronco content creators, and I have these Bronco fans, and I have the organization up there in Dove Valley talking all this shit, it pisses me off. Because this is not the organization I grew up on. This is not a draft and develop franchise anymore. And I don't give a crap if I offend any Bronco fan. If you've been a Bronco fan since the 80s, 70s, I don't give a fuck. This is not the same fucking team that Pat Bowlen was revered for by building this franchise to even greater heights that we haven't seen before. Now it's to the lowest of the lows, the shits of the shits. You have a Walmart mentality up there that have no idea what they're doing. You have Greg Penner, and where the hell is Rob Walton? And then you have Connolly Rice and all these talking heads, Chop Liver, where you show them perfectly last week with a fucking shot of them looking dumbfounded. Like, they don't even know what's going on. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm in the public. Oh.
Everybody wants to, oh my God, we got to, like, everybody in the off season was making such a big deal about this big ass Jumbotron, about this big ass bullshit. And look, that hasn't even, I care about the winning product on the field. I care about the player personnel.
Okay. Go ahead. You care about player development. What did that scoreboard show at the end of the game? What did it show?
What it showed at the end of the game, that the Broncos don't give a shit about player development.
It showed a big L on that Jumbotron, a big L, another big L. Exactly. I want to talk about Pat Bowlen really quick. Something that you brought up. Pat Bowlen built something that was even bigger than John Elway. Really. I mean, he really built something that was even. I think we get caught up in the quarterback, and I think we really forgot what really Pat Bowlen brought to the table. And we keep saying it, and believe me, trust me, that front office, that ownership does not want to look at what there wasn't anybody to mention Pat Bowlen, but I would submit to that ownership that you take a hard look at one of the greatest owners. If you want to be great, you take a look at what that guy did. But if you're not interested in winning, you're here for whatever the money and the bean counting or whatever. If then you're never going to be, you're going to be like these floundering teams that have owners that just don't care. Just because you spend money doesn't mean you're going to have success. You have to spend it wisely. You have to build it. You have to first come up with what you are, what you want to be, stick to it, and then build from it, and commit to it. You can't just splash moves. You learn from the wrong people. Splash moves will never get it done. It will never get it done.
Yeah, this team wasn't a Sean Payton way. This team wasn't a Russell Wilson way. They have to find what they want to be offensively, defensively. They don't know what they are offensively, defensively, and as an organization, they don't know what they are. They believe in these content creators. They listen to these content creators that don't know their ass from a hole to hole on the ground. So I'm just.
Well, they also listen to statisticians who give them no context to the stats they're getting. They give them no context to the stats. So
yeah.
It's a mess from every angle, and it will remain to be a mess from every angle. They go to Miami. It's not going to be easy there. This one looked easy. Do you think tomorrow or next week's going to be easy? So, I'm just saying that you have to get rid of the content creators. They have to cut that umbilical cord, because what happens is these players listen and they believe this garbage. They don't think they have to work for anything. Oh yeah, you're working hard, with your playbook, and you're working hard, at practice. Okay. But when you get out on the field, you start running your mouths. Before the game starts, you're doing Twitter about, I don't know anybody on this defense.
All right, Jerry Jeudy. All right, Jerry Rice. Keep talking your fucking mouth.
Yeah, well, what everybody made Jerry Judy, and this is the thing too.
He sucks.
Jerry, no, this is the thing. It wasn't just the local. What happens is the content creators on the outer peripheral feed off of off of what these content creators here. They made Jerry Judy out to be Jerry Rice. He's not even in that universe. He's not in that universe. Make players have to prove themselves. Then you can do the commercials and all the hype or whatever that you normally do. But this Broncos franchise, they overhype players that have no business overhyping. Justin Simmons, there's another one. Garrett Bowles. I'm being interfered with.
Yeah. The John Elway and the Broncos don't want us talking about this anymore.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going with this.
Okay.
So, at any rate, I just wanted to say that that was very distracting, and I'm sure that's going to keep going on. So, at any rate, you got to cut the content creators out so it doesn't feed into the players. You need to, like back with the Alex Gibbs days, zip it, show it out on the field, and do it that way. That's what's lacking here. I just think that the ownership lacks, and they took over a real bad management situation, and it's reflect. They didn't take care of business with that ownership, that front office, and now it's there's going to be all kinds of finger pointing. Can you imagine how toxic that's going to be at that front office at Dove Valley?
It already is, chopped liver. It already is.
Well, I know, but it just is like a fire that just keeps getting fueled and stoked. Yeah, there's gonna have to be one of this whole things. I think that's where
to blow it up. They have to blow it up. They need to blow it up.
We've been right all along with this. Yeah.
You need to just take the dead cap hits and you need to blow it up and start over. You might have. You might be like Nebraska right now, where they're building towards something. Eventually, they'll get there, but you might need to have a 2 to 3 year slump where you're collecting all this draft capital, collecting players, forming an identity. You need to do this. I'm tired of the Gregories. He sucks. I'm tired of the Russell Wilsons. He sucks. I'm tired of the Judys, the Suttons, the Bowles, the Simmons. Get rid of it. Start fresh. Start building from the interior on out. And I got to get going here, chopped liver. I know. Go ahead.
I wonder who they're going to blame. Who gets the blame now? It's never blow it up.
Blame him already. You have all these stupid I told you I was going to be listening to some live feeds here from Bronco fans. They're already trying to get rid of Vance Joseph already.
Okay, can I stop you? What Bronco channel said Vance Joseph would be the very first casualty going into this season?
We did.
When did I say he was going to be the first casualty? When did I say?
When did you say?
Yeah, before the season started, when did I say Vance Joseph would be the first casualty? When did I say?
You said it before the season.
Yes. Before the season started, I said, when this season gets going, Vance Joseph will be a casualty. Which week? Which week did I say?
Week 5 before the bye week.
That was you. That's what you said. I said it's going to be
week 5.
I said it was going to be week 1. I said, you watch. It will be week 1. And what did we hear after the Raider game?
The defense, Vance Joseph.
I told you were going to hear that week 1. And then next.
These Bronco platforms have no idea what they're talking about. They're always wrong, chopped liver. They have no sense, no direction, and their direct correlation from the front office on down. A rudderless ship that has no direction, no competent ownership. That's just going to continue. I'm just tired of the wash, rinse, repeat mantra that we've seen for 8 years.
They want it. What they do is they excuse the players that need to go. They need to get out of here. That's the issue. This is the front office. You're going to play in that sandbox, Sean Payton. I'm telling you, it's going to get interesting because, again, it looks like Sean Payton is trying to run his system, and he's, what
did we say?
Soon as it was tied 21-21, the call came in. You're gonna load up and throw.
Yep.
And they're lucky Washington didn't score on that drive.
Oh my God. Yes.
Once they got the interception, they are lucky.
Yep.
So, I'm sick of the excuses. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Too many excuses. Blow it up. When this whole thing's said and done, blow it up.
Yeah, I'm tired of it, and move off of these Bronco fans that have no idea, and just shut those people out and just build it from the inside out. I'm done with it. I gotta let you go. I need to get home and handle some business.
Okay. Yeah. So we're out on that. Roger out.
Yeah, Roger out.